The number one question I get from recently divorced clients is, Laurie, how do I make sure I don't run out of money? The answer to that question is simple. All you need to do is make sure that each year your annual income exceeds your annual expenses. This is easy to understand, but difficult to implement. You want to do everything possible to make sure your money lasts as long as you do. I've created an 8-step process to guide you. But first, let me tell you a story about a woman named Karen who approached me after a talk I gave at a library several years ago. I had just launched my book, Every Woman Should Know Her Options: Invest Your Way to Financial Empowerment. Karen told me that she was recently divorced and had received a cash settlement of $600,000. She had traded her share of the other marital assets for the cash and wasn't receiving spousal support. She used to work as a massage therapist but hadn't worked in many years and didn't want to go back to work. She told me her plan was to move to a place with a lower cost of living and cut her expenses dramatically. When I brought up the issue of investing, which was the subject of my talk, she said she was terrified of losing any money and didn't want to risk any of it. I'm sure you would agree that $600,000 is a lot of money, right? It's probably going to last a long time, isn't it? Especially if you live really frugally. Let's assume Karen decided to keep her money in a savings account and withdraw $2,500 a month to start with. If that's even possible, considering what it costs for rent, utilities, healthcare insurance, food, transportation. But due to inflation, she'd have to take just a little more out each year because most things become more expensive in the future. How long do you think $600,000 would last? 40 years? 30 years? Given that Karen was 49 years old at the time, I calculated that she would run out of that money by the time she turned 65. Sure, she'd have access to Social Security and Medicare, but nothing else. But if Karen were to work even part-time, just for a few years, and invest her money wisely, her money would last much longer. So, are you ready to hear about my 8-step process for how to not run out of money?